Good evening. It's 4:21 Sunday night, the weekend of Record Store Day, 420. I'm DJ Vinyl Vertigo. Some of you guys know me as AKA Scott, host of WMNF's Thursday Traffic Jam, All Souls Edition from 3 to 6 on Thursdays Eastern Standard Time in the evening, afternoon, PM, And it was Record Store Day. So here's my Record Store Day video. Take two. Not part two, but take two. Take one. I already did it, and when I look back on it, I had some schmutz on my lip or something. I was like, what is that? So I had to start over again. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to say all the things that I said before, but I'll do my best. But I'll try to make this as quick as possible, because I'm videoed out here. Anyway, here we go. Record Store Day was, for me, was a lot of fun. It was very interesting, lots of fun. It was very different for me this time because I was actually participating in it with a record store. I was helping out a record store, my local record store, one of my favorites, Daddy Cool Records in St. Petersburg at the Factory building. And I was kind of like, Mazzy calls it a bouncer. I was kind of the gatekeeper. I was at the exit door and basically giving out parting favors or parting gifts, bags with posters and buttons and all kinds of other paraphernalia having to do with music and magazines, things like that, in a bag, with Record Store Day and vinyl and all that kind of stuff. So it's fun to see people walk out and be happy and telling me what they got and stuff like that. So it was fun. Also, I was a gatekeeper. I made sure that people didn't come in through the exit door. They had to get in line, like everybody else. And also, if they couldn't find stuff, I could direct them because I knew where everything is in the store because I go at least once a week. So I know where everything is. How they have it set up is they don't have things in one particular area with record store bins, or they don't pick things out for you, like, and give, you don't give them a list and they just give you what you want. You pay for it. You actually have to go and find these things. However, in their markers, the dividers, with the artists that are Record Store Day exclusive or first or whatever, or Record Store Day stuff, will have a special kind of like half moon type extra clamp thing on it that says Record Store Day 2024. So you can find everything in every genre all over the store that is supposed to be Record Store Day. So it's not going to be like hard to find. And that's also gives you an opportunity to look at stuff that's not Record Store Day. So you're looking throughout the store, and you may buy stuff that's not Record Store Day as well. So, it's a win-win for everybody. So I like how they do it. And they keep those up for a while. So that way, even if you don't come the first day, you still will know the Record Store Day stuff. And if it's empty, it's sold out. So, that's how it works. Speaking of, well, when I first came in, I had to put the outer, those little these outer sleeves on the Taylor Swift records because there's an insert. There was like a little cardstock copied insert of a little note that she wrote to all of her Swifties or to all of her fans, and we slipped those in to every record. Those went out the door. The Taylor Swift stuff went out the door, even though it wasn't a Record Store Day specific record. The record dropped the day before Record Store Day, so it kind of was. Very smart lady, let me tell you. And anyway, the Olivia Rodrigo and what's his name, Noah Khan, single that blew out the door. People were like freaked out because they wanted that so bad. And also the Noah Khan records went fast. Paramore went really fast out the door. The Jeff Buckley was gone. Certain jazz titles went really quickly. Believe it or not, though, the certain hip hop stuff went out really quickly too, really fast. But the Bill Evans did not. It was sitting. It was not moving. I was surprised that Bill Evans wasn't moving. The Talking Heads surprised me. That was moving really fast. Lettuce, they didn't have much of the Lettuce, but I thought Lettuce was not going to be touched. Gone. Snarky Puppy, gone. Those are my picks. Ghost Note, gone. Fleet Foxes, gone. I was like, whoa, those were my picks, you know? So I didn't get those. So I'll be probably, they're on back order for the regular. So I'll be getting those. Pearl Jam was going pretty fast, but they had a lot of Pearl Jam. But eventually that was all gone. Um, the ones that surprised me that didn't go, another one that surprised me that did go was De La Soul, because I had that on CD, and I don't remember that having the best sound. So I didn't. It wasn't on my list, but people were picking that up. So maybe it got remastered. I'm not sure, but maybe I passed on something that I shouldn't have passed on. I don't know, because I liked it, but it just wasn't recorded well from what I remember. So Queen Latifah did not sell much. And I was really surprised. I was really, really surprised. I got a copy, but I think I was the only person in my store that got a copy at my store, at least yesterday. I went to another store today, and they had a bunch of copies. And the person at the desk says, "I don't think anybody bought it." And I was like really surprised, because it's a good record, Queen Latifah, and I've been pushing it myself. Anyway, Parliament, Osmium did not go as fast as I thought. But sometimes I am surprised, and usually sometimes it takes a little while, and then they're gone. It's just like last year was Michelle and Giacello's record did not go, and then, or maybe it was 2 years ago, did not go. But slowly but surely it was gone. People just either forgot about it, or all of a sudden went, "Oh, I gotta get that." So I don't know. So maybe Queen Latifah will sell eventually, but it didn't go that fast. Parliament did not go that fast. I didn't get. I personally did not get any jazz record store day jazz, because it was pretty pricey for me, and I felt that if I got jazz, I would have to get less records. So I'm gonna slowly but surely catch up with those if they're still available, slowly but surely. But I just couldn't do it if I wanted to get what I needed to get. Not needed to, but wanted to. We don't need any of this stuff. We want it. That's why we collect. But so the day went really well. Got up early, got over to the store around 7:30, and helped out with things inside the store before we opened. There were people who were online from the morning before, Friday morning. So that was a surprise, because I hadn't seen that kind of thing in a while. People waiting overnight to be online. I hadn't seen that in a while. So that was something that was refreshing. It was fresh again. Also, which I found very interesting, there was a lot of women. More women than I remember in the past. I mean, there's always women going, women do buy vinyl, obviously. But, in the vinyl community, that's a thing that's spoken of a lot. This, like, the percentage of men is much higher than women in the vinyl community, but that's not necessarily representative of the true vinyl community in terms of outside of YouTube, outside of social media. I mean, that actually collect records. But there was a lot of women buying records, and a lot of young people. And there's always been young people, but it's really grown. A lot of young people were buying stuff, and not just the Taylor Swift and the Olivia stuff. I mean, they were buying the Doors and the Stones, and Jeff Buckley, and they were buying interesting things. Even stuff that I didn't know about. They were buying jazz. There was a lot of young people in the jazz section, and I'm talking young. I'm talking about in their 20s. Then it was very busy. We would let, I guess, 10 people in at a time, and then it got a little more crowded. We would have 20 to 30 to 40 people in the store, and they would just bring in 10 people. As 10 people leave, that 10 people, more people come in. It was constantly busy. Then it got kind of quiet. Then it got busy again. So we had a second rush. We also had something that's called like a yard sale outside. There were people with the vendor. There were vendors outside that were selling other wares. We also had open used CDs and used vinyl for cheap outside on tables. We had a DJ, and the way the gallery is set up, the factory is set up, there's like a museum in there. There's also all these art galleries. It's like a whole mall of galleries, like artists, with all their spaces in there. And there's also an area where people can sit down and look at art. But there was a DJ right outside the store where the gallery was, and there's couches and stuff. And so there was a DJ playing all day. He was there all day. Even after I left, he was still playing. We had a stage outside where the yard sale was, and had live music. What I saw was a local artist who's a friend of mine, Christopher James. He's like a singer-songwriter. He does pop, rock, soul. He's very soulful singer-songwriter, very like almost like a Blue Eye Soul singer. But I don't want to categorize him just at that because he does rock as well. He does a lot of different things. Excellent artist, really good guy, beautiful heart, beautiful person, and really great music. He's going to be at our Tropical Heat Wave coming up in May, and he was there. Also, Kendra Morris was there. She's another soulful singer, amazing. I had never seen her before. She's from the Kaiser Chief label, which is a subsidiary or a co label of coal. It belongs to Coal Mine. So she's part of that whole scene, and so we were really happy to have her there. Nice crowd for both of them, and they put on a really good show, both of them. And there were other bands as well, but those are the ones that I saw. So there was a really full day. It was really wonderful, beautiful weather. Couldn't ask for a better day. So I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I picked up. There's quite a bit of stuff here. Instead of getting paid in funds, I decided to get paid in records, so that way my final bill would not be so high. So I kind of worked for my supper, so to speak. So some of these, so don't freak out. I didn't break the bank for myself. I actually worked for some of these. So so let me show you what I got. I actually got some stuff today from another store, but let me show you what I got at Daddy Cool. Let me start with Queen Latifah. Again, a record that I really am surprised. I'm sorry for the glare, but I haven't taken off the shrink yet for this. But Queen Latifah's Nature of a Sister is her sophomore record, and I've always had it on CD, never had it on vinyl. And I'm telling you, I have several of her records, but this is the one I go to all the time. It's so good. I mean, her other record has UNITY on it and all that, and I love that song. But this record has Latifah had it up to here, and that it opens with that, which is like she starts the record off with an attitude, because with a lot of naysayers about female, because there wasn't a lot of top tier female hip hop artists back in the 80s and the 90s. They were there, but they weren't given the same kind of platform as the males. And only till the last maybe decade or so, they were given like an even playing field to men in hip hop world. So women in hip hop had to work really hard to get heard, to be taken seriously, and so she really came out with this song called Queen Latifah's Had It Up to Here, and you got to hear that song. She just, man, and she spells her name out, and it's all rhythmic, and Queen Latifah in command, she's awesome. This is really great. This has Bad as a Mother, Give Me Your Love, Fly Girls on here, Nature of a Sister, That's the Way We Flow. Great record. This is a keeper. This is a really good hip hop record. And it's Queen Latifah at her finest, I think. This is so good. And I'm surprised that these didn't sell out. I'm really surprised that I didn't see these in a lot of people's hands. I think people kind of slept on this. But I'm just letting you know. This is a record. This is definitely a Record Store Day record to get. So, because I don't think you'll see that. I think this is an exclusive, too. I don't think this is a first, you know what I mean? I don't think you're going to see a lot of more pressings of this, so grab it. I would grab it. Next up, another record that I thought should have gone, and it was very talked about in the vinyl community, was Parliament, Osmium. And I don't know why. I think people don't know this record. This is their first record as Parliament. Um, and you can go to Beer and Vinyl. There's a whole, Alex gives a nice little tight history on this about how, George Clinton had a doo-wop group called the Parliaments. And because of, licensing of the name, they couldn't keep that name. So when they went and did their own thing, they came up with the Funkadelic. And later on, they were able to get Parliament. And so he had two bands, basically with two different styles of funk. And one of them's more psych, which this is, although Parliament ended up doing more R&B funk, and Funkadelic did more psych rock funk. And but this Parliament record sounds more like Funkadelic. And it's got great songs on here like Red Hot Mama, Loose Booty, Moonshine Heather, Little Old Country Boy. I love that one. Put Love in Your Life. This is really good. It's on green vinyl. It's kind of a weird green vinyl, but only what you expect from Parliament, And I personally feel that there's no difference between the two of them, but I know that there is sonically a difference, but I just lump them all together. And this is Parliament, Funkadelic, Anyway, if you haven't checked this one out, Osmium, you might want to check that one. I'm just surprised that it didn't sell out, but they had a lot of these at Daddy Cool. And I didn't see them at Bananas, so they probably sold out there. But they had a ton of these. And I thought they weren't going to have a lot, but they had a lot. And I always get the Jazz Dispensary. The last one was phenomenal. It was all black exploitation music. Really cool stuff. Black exploitation film music. It's just funky and good, and just almost some of it was really funny. It was really great. This one I haven't heard it yet. It's very interesting. It's got like a matte finish cover, and it doesn't say anything on the cover. That's why I kept the hype sticker, because it doesn't really explain what it is until you take it out. I'll just take this out for a second. It's called The Freedom Sound, The People Arise. And it's really nice. That's a nice marbleized variant. And it has the names on the back. Joe Henderson, Gary Bart's Quintet, Azar Lawrence, A.K. Salim, the Dunjills, and Rand Blake. There's only 6 tracks on here, but you get your money's worth, because there's some long ones here, long pieces in here. So it's not like a quickie, It's like it's a full album. But I heard that from Alex on Beer and Vinyl, he basically said that this is kind of like a free jazz. It almost is kind of like sort of a free jazz themed record. So it's a little different than what they've done in the past. But they have to change it up a little bit. So I'm looking forward to listening to this. I hope it's not too way out. But I love their records. It's a no-brainer for me to get that. This next one I was not on my list to get. I'm a David Bowie fan, but I'm not a total completionist when it comes to all the Record Store Day stuff, because they put so much Bowie stuff out that it's like, really? Another one? There's so much that it's like I can't keep up. But this one, I definitely wanted to check. When I saw it, as soon as I saw it, I said I have to have it. And it's a beautiful. I love the packaging. It's really nice, sturdy cardstock. This is David Bowie's Waiting for the Sky. I love the photograph. I mean, come on. Come on. That's awesome. That's David Bowie at his wildest. He just doesn't give a you-know-what. He just does his thing. And it's called Waiting in the Sky. And it's half-speed master, taken from the tapes dated December 1971 for the then track listing of The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, plus some 4 tracks that did not make the first cut. So Had to have that. I mean, come on. Another one that this was definitely on my list of a must-have, and I did get a copy. This surprised me that this went out the door, because the last time that I saw a live album for them, it just sat there. This one did not. This is the Talking Heads live at WCOZ 77, and it's a double record. It doesn't have a gatefold. There's a couple of them that don't have gatefolds, but have the Osmium that it doesn't have a gatefold. It should have had a gatefold. Has two records in it. I hate when they throw two records in the same sleeve. Crazy. This is special limited edition. Cut at 45 RPM, complete performance broadcast on WCOZ. 7 previously unreleased performances recorded at Northern Studios November 17th, 1977. And this is an exclusive, so it's definitely something that you should pick up if you don't sit on this one. And that's them in all their glory. And some of this record, many of you would have heard from the record called the earlier live record called this band is called Talking Heads, but this has the rest of one of the sides of that record. So this is the full concert. So that's why I wanted to have it. I have that other one on vinyl, but I wanted to have this so I could have the complete concert. So very happy to have that. There's a lot of live ones. And I know that there's a lot of people that don't like live recordings, but there was a lot of live recordings in Record Store Day this time. And they usually are, there are a lot in Record Store Day, but I got a lot of live ones, surprisingly. This one, I had no idea that this even existed. This is the Jim Croce live, the final tour. Not the final show, but the final tour. Let's not get it twisted here. We know that he passed away in a car accident between gigs, on his way to a gig, I believe. So this is his final tour. So this is not long after. This is not long before he passed. So it's got some of his hard hitters on here: Rotary Queen, Operator. Let's see. Don't Mess Around with Jim. But it has a lot of other songs on here. Really good stuff. It was just him on vocals and guitar, and also Maury Mulison on acoustic guitar and background vocals. Produced by Jim Croce. And I love everything Jim Croce. I even like his son stuff. A.C. Croce? A.J. Croce? Yeah. Love it. So I'm sure I'm going to enjoy this big time. I wish I had seen him. He's so good. I was too young. Jim Croce. Great songwriter. And great performer. The troubadour's troubadour, I think. I always get the Pixies live records. I love their stuff. Even though they repeat the songs sometimes, I don't care. I think that their performances are all stellar. And I've seen them several times live, and I loved every show. And so I will get all of their live records. I don't care. And this is still with Kim Deal in the band. This is live from Red Rocks, 2005. And I always love the graphics on their covers for their live Record Store Day releases. So definitely a welcome addition to the family of DJ Vinyl Verticals collection. So those were my, I think that was it. Let me just double check. Yeah, that was it for my Record Store Day from yesterday. I also got some non-Record Store Day stuff, so I'll show it real quick. I went into the open section. I thought I had this record, but I didn't, and they had it for under $10. And I got more percentage off on top of that because it was Record Store Day. So this got really cheap. This is Bruce Springsteen's Darkness on the Edge of Town. This is one of the first records that I ever really listened to of his back in the day. I always knew who he was. I'm from New York, so we know all the Jersey bands and stuff. So we knew who Bruce Springsteen was. But I never really bought any of his things until I heard this record. And then I said, whoa. Because I thought, is he going punk? Because he looked like he was doing like a punk thing, you know? I mean, to me, it almost looked like he was kind of riffing off the punk kind of thing. But no, it's not. It's not that. It's Bruce doing Bruce, you know? Of course, Adam Ray's Kane, Something in the Night, Candy's Room, Racing in the Streets, Promised Land, Streets of Fire, but Prove It All Night. It was a great song. Darkness on the Edge of Town, great record. Really good record. So, happy to have that. And so, like I said, I thought I had this in my collection. I didn't. So now I do. Like I said, I didn't buy jazz because it was so expensive, and I will slowly but surely. But of course, I perused the jazz section anyway because I always do. And I didn't realize that they had acquired a bunch of copies of this record that I did not know existed, but I had heard bits and pieces of it a few months ago, and I said, I gotta order this or find this or whatever. Herbie Hancock's The Prisoner. This is a smoking record. Funky, jazzy, cool. He even looks like, I mean, look at him. He looks like he could be on the cover of Ebony magazine. I really dig this record. It's got a lot of heavy hitters on here. Johnny Coles, Garnett Brown, Buster Williams, Joe Henderson. Let's see, who else is on here? Jerome Richardson, Tony Studd, Albert Tootie Heath. I mean, it's just, Hubert Laws is on here. I mean, it's from 1969, April 1969, recorded at Rudy Van Gelder. This is a smoker, The Prisoner. Definitely pick this up. You will not be disappointed. Ugh. So I'm happy that they had this, and I said, I'm getting this. Also, I saw this. It just caught my eye first. I didn't know who it was, but I love album covers that catch my eye. But when I found out who it was, I said, I have to have it. Liam Gallagher. Look at this cover. Isn't that cool? I love Liam Gallagher's work. He's a jerk, but I don't care. Part of Oasis. John Squire's the name of the record. I don't know if it's good or not. I'm sure it is. All the songs written by John Squire. That's interesting. John Squire plays guitar on this record. So I'm wondering what this is all about, but look at that. Isn't that cool? I said that already. Ignore my second question. I just love it. I love the cover. So I said, yeah, that's definitely going in the bag. I'm definitely getting that. I don't know what it sounds like. I don't care. It sounds good. Looks good. It's going to be good, I'm sure. And then this is a record that I have been picking up and putting down every time I go into that store, because there was always something else that I wanted to get, and I felt like I don't have enough funds to get this one, so I'll just put it back. And then I would come back and I would pull this and I get other stuff and I go, no, I'm gonna put it back. So this time, when I'm getting multiple records like this, like a big stack on Record Store Day, I said, hell with it, fuck it, I'm gonna get it. Discovered and Covered. It's a comp of covers by different artists. For example, The Dip, which is like a band that's like Lettuce, like Snarky Puppy, like any of the coal mine artists, you know, kind of like that funky, soulful, jammy kind of band. They do Madonna's Beautiful Stranger. Flip Turn, I don't know that band, but they do Everybody Wants to Rule the World, the Tears for Fears tune. Langhorne Slim does Sundown by Gordon Lightfoot. The Lumineers does Nobody Knows. Shovels and Rope, featuring Sharon Van Etten, does the Beach Boys' In My Room. Shaky Graves does John Waite's Missing You. Can you imagine? The Wild Reeds do I Think We're Alone Now. Houndmouth, I like Houndmouth a lot. They do Whitest Shade of Pale, Procol Harum song. Trigger Code does Bruce's Darkness on the Edge of Town. So I mean, there's a bunch more, but really, I really I'm so happy to finally take the plunge and pick it up. I'm sure I'm going to like it. I love this cover. I think it's great. Sorry for the glare. Yeah. So that was it for Record Store Day. And so I finally got some rest last night. And then this morning I got up, walked my dogs, and said I got to go to the farmer's market and pick up some stuff for salads and for food for the week and all that kind of stuff. Some vegetables, things. And I said, let me just pop over to Bananas Records in St. Pete. And I looked through their stuff. They didn't have much left. They were picked through. And I don't know if they bought a lot. I don't know. They said they were very busy, so people picked through all this. It was really picked through. The first thing I picked up, I put back because I picked it up. It's a double record. It's the latest, I guess, from UB40 called UB45. Not with the original singer. And I wanted to give it a chance, and I looked it up, and I streamed it. I wasn't into it. It didn't grab me. And I think the original vocalist, his voice grabbed me. Campbell just grabbed me. So it just didn't do it for me. So I put it back. I just couldn't do it. And it was a full album. They also had the remixes of Tom Tom Club's Genius of Love with really good remixers on it. And it was just that one song done like 8 different ways. I streamed it. Some of them were okay, some of them were really good, but for me it just wasn't enough. And it wasn't that expensive, but it just wasn't enough for me to pick it up. I go, because when am I going to play this? It's like playing a 12-inch. And I go, am I going to play this a lot? I don't know. And I just bought the other Tom Tom Club like 2 years ago of their reissue of the album, and it has some extra tracks of Genius of Love and all that. So I said, I have that. I should be happy with that. So that's enough. So I put those back, but I ended up with 3 EPs. And one of them because I love the band, and the other 2 because I blame Mazzy and I blame Harry. Because I don't usually buy the EPs because you don't get that much for your money unless it's something really, really exclusive. But I think they are pretty exclusive, these. The first one I got because of me, Everything But the Girl. I haven't taken this out yet, so excuse the glare. But this is from their latest. This is out. These are like sessions from their latest release, and it's kind of acoustic versions of songs. Nothing Left to Lose, Run a Red Light, When You Mess Up, and Single. And this is called At Maida Vale, first time on vinyl for Record Store Day. So it's sessions of songs from the last release. I think it's called Phase or Fuse. Tracy Thorn and Ben Watt have this magical connection musically. They work well separately, but when they're together, there's some magic that goes on. She's got this voice on her, and he has this great arrangements of the songs that he does, and they're both just so great together. You just feel it. You just feel the energy from them. And so I was happy to get this one, and I'm sure I'll be very happy when I listen to it, but because her voice is just, she has one of my favorite voices of the 80s. She and Sade have like this soulful, beautiful, deep, just that warm, sexy voices. I just love it. So Tracy Thorn, Ben Watt, Everything But the Girl sessions. I love that. So this is the one I blame I blame Mazzy for, because he talked about it a lot on his channel. And this is Bloke on Bloke by Billy Bragg. And I'm pretty much a completionist for Billy Bragg, but it really wasn't on my it wasn't in my list. But I got to thinking about it, and I went, you know what? From the William Bloke sessions, it's got 7 tracks on it. So I listened to it on my phone, and I said, pretty good. So I'm going to pick it up. And it's not that expensive, so I got it. So I picked it up. an EP. So another EP, which I don't normally do. Then Harry was talking about on Rachel's Ghost TV show about this Ringo Starr, that he didn't get it and he wanted to get it and blah 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 blah. So, and this sold out like crazy everywhere. This is Ringo Starr's Cricket Boy. I love that cover. It's only 4 songs though, but I mean that's fine because you don't hear a lot of stuff from him on Record Store Day. The songs are all written by Linda Perry, and this is produced by Linda Perry. And exclusive black and white marble vinyl for Record Store Day. So the Beatles have been really catching my eye recently because all this new stuff from them. So not a lot of new stuff, but some new stuff. So really cool. So yeah. So that's it. I think I'm done. I just want to talk about one more thing. And that is this. I got this in the mail. This finally got delivered to me. Beyoncé. Queen Bey. Okay? Carter Country. Now, I had refused to talk about this record for a while now because it was so talked about. I got sick of hearing about it. Is it a country record? Isn't it a country record? Blah, blah, blah. Why is she doing this? It's amazing. It's really good. I'm not so sure if I could call it a country album. It does have the country flavor to it. It's an American record. I can say that. It's a Beyoncé record. I can say that. It is a concept album. I could definitely say that. And it is, from beginning to end, a very listenable record. And I can't always say that about Beyoncé records for me, because I'm not able to just sit down and listen to a Beyoncé record from beginning to end. I skip around to my favorite songs. This one, I don't have to do this. I put it on. It's a concept album. It really works from beginning to end. And it's just like Songs in the Key. I'm not saying it's the level of Songs in the Key of Life, okay? Calm down. But you know what I'm saying, okay? It's good. It's really, really good. I'm not sure if I like the cover so much. I don't know. It's all right. But I like that other picture of her on the horse with the cowboy hat and the hair flying. That to me is better, but that's what she has on this. That's what I have when I ordered it. So this is part of a trilogy. This is part 2. Part 1 was Renaissance, which was basically kind of like based on, according to her, on the gay club scene. Okay, because it was all dance music and it kind of sounded like La Escuelita. It had that kind of sound like the Garage and all that. Burning, Paris is Burning, if you're familiar with that, the whole Vogue scene and all that music. So it was like house music and all that kind of stuff. So it's very dance. This is just typical American music, just American, kind of Americana, and sometimes a little country, sometimes a little pop, that kind of thing. I mean, Willie Nelson's on here, Miley Cyrus, Dolly Parton, Paul McCartney, Post Malone. My projection is that part 3 of her series, because this is part 2, part 3 of her series, it's going to go either way. It's going to go, and I have a feeling it's going to go the way that I really think it's going to go. She's either going to go blues and jazz on the 3rd installment, or she's going to go right on out and rock out. And I have a funny feeling it's going to be a rock and roll album. Mark my words. Quote me. I think that's what she's going to end up doing. I think. And I think if she does do that, that's a smart way to go. If she's smart, that's what she'd do as our part 3. Because that way it differentiate from the dance to the country to rock and roll. And she's just the kind of woman who could do that. She's got the voice for it, that's for sure. So we'll see what happens. But in the meantime, this good, really good. And I can actually, like I said, sit down and listen to it from cover to cover, from beginning to end, without having to skip around. That's the first time for me with Beyonce. So, you know, what does that tell you? You know, for me anyway. That tells me a lot about it. And that's it. That's all. We're done. It's a little. Oh, I still went over 30 minutes, but at least I don't have schmutz on my face like the first time. Um, anyway, so you can, if you haven't subbed to this channel, please, if you feel like it, sub to this channel. If you also feel like it, if you like this video, like it, and also if you want to talk to me about any of these things that I brought up, make comments about any of my selections, please do so. I'd like to hear your opinions. Also, I'd like to hear your opinions on the Beyonce record. Also, I'd like to hear your opinions on what you picked up. How was your day for Record Store Day? What happened at your store? How many stores did you go to? Did you get anything? Did you get good stuff? Are you happy with what you got? Are you surprised about these things that sold out? And are you surprised about things that didn't sell? And that's it. I'm signing out. Let me go give my throat a rest and keep listening to great music. And I'll see you when I see you. Take care, guys.